Hey everybody, Savannah with Great Starts Dog Training here. We are going to dive into a recent day training lesson that I had with one of my current students named Finn. Finn is a golden retriever, and as you can imagine, he is just a wonderful dog, and he loves to go swimming, and he gets very excited when he goes to a facility to go swimming at. So what you're going to see in this video is the steps that I took with Finn and what I was explaining for his parents to continue practicing on what I'm looking for him to do, what the outcome and goal is as we progress to the building. Okay, so I'm just going to explain briefly what we're doing here. So he is not tethered. We are standing right here in front of the door. He knows exactly where we are. And I am asking him to just stay seated and not move. So he's wanting to go and get out there, but we're not going. If he stands his bum up, then I'm gonna ask him to sit back down. My goal for this is I want him to relax, so when he lays down without me telling him, then we're gonna bring out the ladder and then we're gonna try to get out of the truck. So what you might see when you get here, if he's not already losing it, is that if you don't let him out right away, he's going to start to get impatient. You'll start to see the pacing, you'll start to hear the whining. When he does that, that's just him telling us that he's not quite settled enough to get out of the car. So before you jump right out, when you get somewhere, wait a little bit if he's not already excited. If he is already excited, then you just wait in the car until he settles down. Okay, so I wanted to jump in here again really quick to kind of explain a little bit more about what we're doing. So you're seeing Finn sitting in the truck, right? He is not tethered in. You know, he knows exactly where we're at, and you'll see that I am kind of blocking him with my body from going any further from the door. Right? So I'm using my physical presence as a barrier, saying, no, you're not getting to come out yet. I need you to settle down first. But I'm not going to tell Finn to do this, right? Part of dog training, we want our dogs to use their brains. We want them to start to figure things out on their own. So what I'm doing is I'm waiting, and it doesn't matter how long I wait. But when Finn lays down, that's when he's going to finally get the reward of, yes, that's what I want. And you're going to see that coming up real quick. So when we get him to lay down, and he chose to do that all on his own, he's still a little anxious, still a little excited. So we're just going to wait a little bit longer. We're going to eventually hear him make a big, deep sigh, and he's not going to be quite so jerky when he hears a noise. Because if you can hear it right now, he's still kind of whining. He's pouting. So since he's pouting, we're still not going to come out. So we up the ante a little bit here. We got the ramp set up. So he knows the expectation is that he gets to come out. He's more excited now because it's here. So we're doing a little bit of reminders that, hey, just because it's there, you're not going to get to go until you settle down. So this is kind of what we want to see before we let him out. He's not whining. He's not really panting. He's not anxious licking. He's laid down on his own, and he's starting to relax. So now we're going to let him out, and we'll see where it goes. Okay, so like I promised, we finally got to the part where Finn laid down. Now, we had to wait until he stopped whining so much, right? We had to wait until his body language decided to settle down. That was his way of inadvertently telling me, okay, I'm good. Because we're waiting for that to happen, that's going to help us get more success faster outside of the truck. So what you're going to see next is us getting him out of the truck and the process that we're going to take getting him to the building. So what we are doing right now is just walking around the parking lot, working on his leash manners. If he goes in front of me, I'm going to correct him. If he lags behind, I'm going to correct him. If he pulls, any which way, I'm going to correct him. And we're slowly working our way up to the door. We're not going right for it, but we're going to work our way up to it. So at this point in the video, it just was a lot of repetition. It was a lot of moving forward and then him, losing focus a little bit. So we have to move back. When we're dealing with an excitable dog, when we're dealing with, a stimulant that is really intriguing for them, we have to be patient. We have to take our time. So what you don't end up seeing is that we do eventually make it to the building here with Finn. And it took a lot of time to get there. It took us about, just to make sure that things were as they should be before we progressed each step. We took our time when we're in the truck, we took our time getting out of the truck, we took our time walking up to the building, and it went his pace, right? Sure, we could force our dogs to go and yank them around all over the place, but that's not how I do things. And I don't think that's how people should do things when it comes to their dogs. We need them to understand, and we need to develop the communication of what it is we want from them. If we don't do that, then how is the dog supposed to know, oh, every time I do this, it's going to actually take me away from where I want to go? Or even worse, if your dog's pulling in front of you and you keep going that direction, now you're just reinforcing that him pulling is still going to get him where he wants to go. So as we progressed with Finn to the building, every time that he pulled, he got out of line, he didn't focus like he needed to, we went back. And we sometimes went all the way back, we sometimes went just a little ways back. And then before we actually went into the building, we went in front of the door multiple times, multiple passes. Why? Because we want him to know that just because we're here doesn't mean you're immediately going to get to go inside, right? Just because we're in this parking lot that you recognize doesn't mean that you're immediately going to go in and you're going to do the swimming that you love to do. Just because we get out of the truck doesn't mean you get to go bolt your way to the door. You need to still listen. You need to still be respectful. And that was the premise and the goal of that exercise that day. And again, dog training is a continual thing, right? We can get Finn to walk wonderfully up to the door, but if, say, we lax a little bit on our strictness, or we don't practice in between as much as we should have, any dog, you're going to start to see those skills and that behavior slip over time. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this little demonstration that we did with Finn. I hope it was insightful for you guys. If you found a little bit of value in it, I'd love if you would like and subscribe to this channel. I know I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm working on increasing my skill set, but I hope that these videos can be educational and insightful to try to help as many people with their dogs as I can. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.